Jackson, Mississippi has a huge water problem. They're literally having to bring in buckets of water to flush their toilets. They're having to boil their water to eat, drink, and brush their teeth. Now, there's nothing new here. This has happened many times before. The engineers have been telling the city officials for decades that the water treatment plant is in bad shape, out of date, needs to be renovated, fixed. And of course, typical politicians have paid no attention. I think this is a microcosm of our nation and how we deal with problems. So first, you got to find blame. It's a political thing, of course, and you have a Democrat mayor and a Republican governor. And this is the capital of Mississippi, Jackson, so the Republican sits in the epicenter of the problem. Press is on this because, one, the mayor made this comment. He said this is caused by systemic environmental racism. Love that phrase. And there's racism involved because Jackson has declined in population 10 years in a row. It's mainly because of white flight. White folks with their productivity, with their money, skipping out of the city, moving to the suburbs, even out of the state. So it's left a real dire situation. I blame government, just in general, because they own 100% of this problem. That's why I'm a capitalist. I just think the private sector will do a much better job. And yes, they'll make a profit, but they'll provide a service or product that we love, that we're willing to spend our money on. Also, the press is jumping on climate change because everything is about climate change. And it's true, there was a flood recently that caused the latest debacle. But again, this is nothing new. Now, let me bring socialism into this. The mayor of Jackson, now correct me or pardon me if I don't get this name exactly right. Chokwe Antar Lumumba is his name. The Lumumba, he was given that name after a famous past communist leader. This guy is a true blue, loud, proud socialist. He talks about it. He preaches about it. He lives it. One of the first things he did was provide guaranteed income to people living in the projects, $1,000 a month. It's interesting, though, because they didn't use that to pay their water bills, which also exasperated the problem at the plant. But he is a proud socialist, even calling for violent revolution. Now, he took over for his dad. Now, he won the election in 2017 after his dad passed away in office. And by the way, had Saddam Hussein numbers, won 93% of the vote. The people that came for his address were shouting, free the land, whatever that means. But that was the mantra of his dad's extreme left organization that literally wanted to take Mississippi and some other states and secede from the Union, start a new country calling it the Republic of New Africa, spelled with a K. So his son was all into this. Lumumba was all in. He even promoted the Marxist idea of violent revolution. Yes. You see, Marx realized that socialism, communism will never take the place of capitalism without a revolution. He had this particular view that I agree with. He said, you know what? Capitalists will not give up their private property or their wealth without a fight. You think? I guarantee you this, you come to take my home, I will be in my home shooting at you with an AR-15, which is the very reason I want to keep that gun legal. So when Democrats come after me, at least I've got a chance. I find this interesting that Joe Biden just recently talks about the threat of MAGA Republicans who are promoting, political violence. And I would debate him on that. There's a few stooges out there, of course, who do violent things, but that doesn't speak for all of us. On the Democrat side, you have people, elected people, promoting violent revolution, literally tearing down the nation and its Constitution and killing people. Here's what I'm going to end this with. I think this is genius. Socialists can only give you, from way up in the ivory tower, socialist pipe dream. Whereas on the ground, they got nothing for dirty, stinky pipes.